I'll open with a thing. I've got a thing to open with. Do you want to start or should I cold open?
No, just cold open.
Okay. So you know how like BoJack was kind of like it felt like the kind of the hipster show to be really into and like fanboy over, even though it's like I don't know, regardless of if it's good or not, people got like really like cringily into it.
Yes, definitely.
You know what I'm talking about?
Levels. Not quite.
But I'm saying Rick and Morty is the new that for BoJack. I felt like BoJack was going to be that, and then Rick and Morty just stepped in. But it's kind of an interesting thing I want to say, because it's like, there are people who like Rick and Morty, right? I am removed from this conversation. I've never watched it, so I'm an outside observer.
You know, a Pickle Rick man?
Have you seen the image where it's the skulls, and it's just like white, black, Asian, guy, gay, straight, woman, all this stuff. They're all the same skull, and then the last one's a fucking like Homo habilis skull, and it's people who shout Pickle Rick. Anyway, what else?
So welcome back to describing dead memes with Shane and Peter and Kyle.
You ain't done yet.
But what I wanted to say was, like, there are people who enjoy Rick and Morty, right? Whatever, funny show. You like it.
Yeah.
That's...
You have to have an IQ of over 160.
No memes. Like I'm being completely straight-faced. There are people who enjoy it. I'm sure it's a good show. I've never seen it. I like Justin Roiland's voice work in Lawbreakers as the bomb. It was very funny. So I would assume Rick and Morty is a enjoyable show. I don't think that you can say that you like Rick and Morty anymore without me just thinking you're an asshole, like cringy fucking 10-year-old. That's why I keep it on the DL. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if you like it and you're just like a normal person, which you're not, you're terrible. You're awful.
Thank you. Yeah.
But like, even if you were a normal person who liked Rick and Morty, I feel like you can't express that because. Which is weird, because people on the internet do express that and just be like, oh, I like Rick and Morty, I bought this merch.
James Gunn.
Here's my fucking pop culture reference. It's like, I don't want you to live on my earth.
Yeah.
Because this is the most fucking cringy shit I've ever seen. It is the fucking TV equivalent of the Anonymous mask.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
At my work.
And I feel bad for Justin Roiland.
Yeah, that's true.
At my work, a lot of people from like tech companies come, so I get a lot of fat white guys in Rick and Morty shirts.
Oh jeez, Rick!
Oh gee, Rick!
No, so yeah, I don't know if either of you played Lawbreakers. I'm assuming you didn't, since no one on Earth played Lawbreakers and it's already dead. But people played it during the beta, and there's this one mode. It's just like a Quake game. There's this one mode where it's a bomb, but it's basically just fucking like oddball, like point control oddball, and so you you pick up the bomb and try and drop it in the enemy's zone, but the ball is basically just doing a fucking Morty voice the entire time.
Yeah,
it's like the funniest thing I've ever heard. It's just so excited to blow up and shit. Oh man, it's good. It's not a good game. It's a terrible game. That's why no one played it, because it's bad and it costs a lot of money, but it wasn't worth it. Anyway, now that we've talked for 4 minutes without fucking introducing ourselves, that was my SNL cold open. You can play the credits now.
Yeah. Live from Arcadia Bay, it's Real Unknown!
I was gonna sing the fucking 30 Rock theme, but...
Go for it.
No, I'm good.
Okay, hello, and welcome to Real Unknown Cinema Podcast, Episode 0, Part 2. Or Episode 0.5. I'm your host Shane, and with me as always...
This is more of a Real Unknown, a Star Wars story, right?
Yeah, this is a Real Unknown
so it's gonna
cinema
be really
podcast
fucking
story.
Bad, but everyone's gonna pretend like it was an enjoyable movie in any fucking context.
I liked Rogue One.
I wish people would pretend that we made things enjoyable.
Here's the problem with Rogue One.
Yes.
It's a bad Star Wars movie, right?
Yes.
I want to start off with this.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, let us introduce ourselves first.
I'm your host Shane, and with me as always the retired co-host who is now a special guest star in every episode, Kyle.
It's me.
And with us again for the second time is a friend of the podcast, Beep Peter Beep.
Hi, I am a cuck with the shittest of tastes.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
As we're about to find out right now.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to say about Rogue One.
Yes.
I know no one fucking agrees with me. I turned Shane. That's my magic
No,
power.
I didn't like it when I
Here's
saw
my
it.
magic power with Shane.
Right.
Any movie that I have an opinion on, I can make him have that opinion
Yeah,
after
that's
a
fair.
while.
That's fair.
That's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I have to say about Rogue One is it's not a very good Star Wars movie. And
Right.
interestingly,
I mean, you've turned me in more ways than one, Kyle.
Right. And interesting, Last Jedi has changed my perception of this because Last Jedi is not really a Star Wars movie anyway, but it's still fucking amazing.
It's still a well-made
So
film.
like,
Or
got
enjoyable.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. But what I want to say about Rogue One, it's not a very good Star Wars movie, which is why it's weird that it's got a Star Wars story on the tag, because it feels like a different movie that they just kind of put through in the universe.
Yeah.
But it's not a good movie, ignoring the fact that it's bad at Star Wars.
Yeah. That's my
It's
problem
just
with it.
fucking. Its plot is so not good.
Yeah. What's characters?
Yeah, I don't know. I just. Oof.
Arcs?
Here's the best thing I could say. I think we said this on the other podcast. The opening fight of The Last Jedi should have made everyone realize why the space fight in Rogue One was so shitty and boring.
Yeah.
Because that character, who I don't even think they gave, I'm not sure they gave a name to
It's
Rose's
just Rose
sister.
Tico's sister. Yeah.
It's just her sister.
Yeah.
That
was
unnamed
really good
character
Yeah.
is more interesting than the entirety of Rogue One.
Yeah.
Everything that happened in Rogue One is more boring than her kicking a fucking ladder.
Yeah, I am more invested in that and more like, oh, fucking shit, than I was at any point in
Good
Rogue One.
filmmaking.
Right. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Rogue One is a poo-poo movie, and everyone should remember it as poo-poo movie forever. You don't get to say your opinion, because my opinion is fact.
That's
and you should feel bad.
That's fine. I saw the movie once and I liked it and I barely thought about it since.
I saw the movie once and went, what the fuck?
And you're still not over it.
And everyone... Well, I'm not over it, because my dad and my mom and the other two people I went with went, well, that was a good movie. And I was like, no, it wasn't. And my dad was like, no, it was good. You just don't like movies. And I'm like, I thought you liked Star Wars, and you betrayed me.
Tears rolling down your eyes.
He
You
said-
were like a father to me!
right. Anyway, now that I've ranted about Rogue
Yeah.
One to fill time,
Yeah.
I'll talk about the other movies that I'm supposed to talk about for about 4 minutes, and then go back to Rogue One.
Yeah, this is a Kyle-centric episode. This is like...
So, I'd like to explain what happened here.
Yes.
Shane, we're recording this top 10 indie movies of 2017. Or top 10 unknown movies,
Thank
I should
you.
say, not
Yes.
indie movies.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so, I was trying to help by looking through a bunch of lists on the internet of people's top 10 favorite, like, unknown and indie films. Right. And then finding ones I was interested in.
Yes.
And watching them. So I compiled a list of about 11 movies that I was all planning to watch in one day. Shane had already seen 2 of them, so I took them off the list. And then there was another one I took off the list for time purposes.
Was it like a 4-hour fucking French film or some shit?
No, it was like something I wasn't like super interested in, and I didn't want to, like, I realized I wouldn't have enough time to watch all of them, so I cut it. And then one of the films I really wanted to see, I couldn't find anywhere. So I ended up seeing 6 movies out of my original list of like 10 or 11.
Right.
And I'm glad that I didn't try and talk about any of them on Shane's top 10 unknown movies list, because most of them were terrible. And actually, they kind of got better as time went on.
But that might just be Stockholm.
It was
syndrome.
actually, it was like, it started at like the most neutral movie I'd ever seen.
Right.
The most, I don't feel anything.
That's me with the first Hunger Games movie. I was just like, this gave me nothing.
And then it went down.
Yeah.
Second movie was bad.
Yeah.
Then it went way up because I watched Risk.
Uh-huh.
And I like her documentaries. So
Fair.
and we'll talk about that later. And then it went way down.
down.
I don't. That's like both the lowest and highest point, because I didn't think that someone could make something like that and be like, this is a movie.
This is a movie that we should release.
And then it went up again. And then I think I ended on probably the highest note.
Uh-huh.
Even though I'm not sure it's even that great of a movie, I just liked it. So
Okay.
It worked out. So I'm going to name the movies I'll be talking about.
Wait, Kyle. There we go. 10 minutes.
I'm going to name the movies that I will talk about. And so if you haven't seen them, you might want to avoid this because I might give spoilers. I'll try my best not to, but for some of them it might be a little necessary. I'm also going to include timestamps for when I talk about them, so if there's a movie you do want to see, you can skip over it. I don't know why you'd want to see most of these movies, but...
This fucking guy.
But if you do want to...
Oh, that's hot.
I'll include it.
That's hot.
Thanks. So, the list of movies...
Yes.
...is going to be Personal Shopper...
Oh, yeah.
Fucking not.
Sorry.
Before I Fall.
Uh-huh.
Risk, Lemon, The Little Hours, and The Discovery. And I'll be talking about them in the order I watched them. And that was the order I watched them in. So, first off, let me get my timestamp ready as we talk about Personal Shopper.
So, like, right at 11 minutes.
Yeah. Please don't say it into the mic. I was trying to go not meta on this one, but you fucked
you're not
me.
meta.
You fucked me over. So,
yeah,
and the timestamps aren't going to be, like, super accurate, but whatever. Personal Shopper is a movie where Kristen Stewart is in France, and she works for a model. Well, I don't know. She's just a celebrity, but I'm pretty sure she's supposed to be a model. And she just, like, buys all her clothes and shit. And she's there in Paris because... she's, like, investigating a connection to the spirit world, basically. And they get into more why she's doing that, and so on and so forth, as the movie goes on. But basically, that's it. She's doing the job because she needs money. She doesn't really care about it that much. And she's trying to make a connection with, like, the afterlife. A lot of afterlife movies, now that I think about it. This movie felt like... 3 different movies, and not in a Last Jedi way.
Okay.
In a, I have 3 different plots that aren't connected at all kind of way. So, she's doing this whole thing. Her brother died.
Yes. And
she's trying to connect with him because he was, like, super spiritual. Right? And you'd think that would be the main plot, but she does... It's 3 scenes in the movie, basically.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
She tries to connect with him 3 times in the movie. She talks about it more. But it does not come up at all during the movie, except for... And this is where I'm going to get into spoilers for this movie a little bit more.
Okay.
Because it's kind of important to why I didn't like it that much. The only time that it's maybe involved in the rest of the plot is she's getting texted by somebody she doesn't know. I think the implication is supposed to be...
It's her brother.
It might be her brother. But it's very obvious that it's this guy who's dating the celebrity because she meets him, and then the next scene she starts getting texted, and the first thing I thought is, oh, it's that guy?
Yeah.
And then it is that guy.
Okay.
And that's it?
That's it.
Like, it never felt to me like it was a mystery of who it was. It just felt like, it's this guy, how does she not know that it's him? And so, the movie is just kind of an hour... of her going around Paris, just not really doing anything, and she really wants to try on the person she works for, her clothes for some reason. It's not really clear why. She doesn't seem that interested in it, but the people keep being like, "You want to try these on?" And then she's like, "Okay." But apparently, she really wants to.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I just have a problem with. I don't feel like she's actually motivated to do anything she wants to do in this movie. But it's not... There's nothing there.
Okay.
I mean, it's just 2 different movies, and neither of them are very interesting. It's a thriller where you know who the bad guy is.
Yeah.
And a spiritual movie where they filmed 10 minutes of it and decided it wasn't a movie. So they stopped making it.
Okay.
And... I guess the thing I want to talk about the most is there's this weird, like, transgender metaphor thing, and it comes up multiple times in the movie, and I don't think it's on purpose. But there's this whole scene where Kristen Stewart's in I can't remember her name. The fucking celebrity's, like, apartment.
Is it a real person, or is it
No,
like a... Okay.
No. She's in, the celebrity's apartment, and she's got all these clothes. And the person texting her is like, you want to put on the clothes? And she's like, yeah, I really do. That's why I'm here. And so she, like, puts on the clothes, and she's like, I'm embarrassed and scared. And they're like, I thought you said you wanted to be a different person.
Uh-huh.
And then she's like, lays down on the bed and masturbates in the clothes.
Awesome.
And it's like, this feels so strange to me because it feels like it's supposed to be about something way different.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's what you were going for.
Uh-huh.
But that's what it came out as.
Sure.
And so it's a very strange thing to put in your movie.
Yeah, but they never really go further with the idea of her wanting to be like...
No.
Okay.
And it's so weird because people keep saying, oh, you want to be someone else. But she never says it. Mm-hmm. And people keep saying, oh, you want to try on these clothes. But she doesn't say it. Mm-hmm. And I don't really know what it is. It's like a weird, they don't know how to... Like, the director didn't know how to make the character want something. Mm-hmm. So they just had other people tell her she wanted it. Yeah. Maybe that's the point. It didn't seem like it at the time. I don't know. It was kind of boring. Uh-huh. She takes off her top a lot and shows off her tits. Which, there's a lot of titties in the movies I saw.
Yeah.
Titty, like... I don't mean to be crude, right? There's a lot of lady nudity and not a lot of dude nudity, or dudity, as I like to call it.
That sucks.
And it annoyed me a little bit, because I felt like a pervert. I was like, why am I just looking at a bunch of naked girls all the time? But, since I did look at a bunch of naked girls, and I am a pervert, I'm going to talk about it. Yes. She's a very lovely lady. Uh-huh. And I did enjoy her very much in this movie. Okay. Not as an actor. Uh-huh. I didn't particularly think she was a good actor. But she looked nice. Okay. And that's all I've got to say.
That's all you got? You're not going to go further than that?
No, I mean, there's not much else to say, really.
Okay. I like Kristen Stewart in some things I've seen her in. I've never seen Twilight. But I actually did want to see this movie. Mm. But from what you're describing, I can kind of picture what type of movie it is. And it's not really the type of movie I like. Yeah. So I'm a little more hesitant now to check this out. I still will probably see it at one point. I don't know if any of these films you watch... It's kind of like the opposite of the last episode, where I don't think any of these films you watch will ever have an episode on them.
No, probably not. Even the ones I liked aren't worth an episode. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Personal Shopper. It's more of a neutral for me. I just kind of felt nothing after watching it. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Is there anyone else in it besides Kristen Stewart who's like of note?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It seemed pretty... It's just like... Yeah, it's a bunch of foreign people.
Lame.
It's a French movie. So, that was Personal Shopper, and now we'll move on to the second movie.
Okay, so like 1810.
Oh yeah, let me put down a mark. Yeah. I don't know why you gotta say it every time.
I want it so if people click around, that's just what they hear.
Okay.
So 1810 will be your next one?
No, we're gonna put it here. Oh my god, I can't type. Help! And we're gonna talk about Before I Fall. Okay. So Before I Fall.
This is, okay, which list did you see this on, is what I want to know.
I saw it on multiple lists.
Really?
Most of the movies on here were on more than one list.
That's... All the other films I can get. But this one is surprising to me.
That someone put it on a top 10 list?
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, it was surprising to me, too, after watching it. So, Before I Fall, I don't think there's anyone famous in this movie, really. Mm-hmm. It's a movie... it's Groundhog Day.
Yes.
And reading some of the people talking about it, it seemed like it was taking that Groundhog Day premise and using it for something deeper, right? A lot of the reviews are about how the character is discovering something, right? Something deeper. And I thought maybe we'd get a bit of this is a weird comparison, but a bit of a Doki Doki Literature Club type thing, right. Where you're... yes, I see you are a man of culture as well. Yes. Where there would be, these characters who on the outside appear to be kind of one-dimensional, and then they all have problems like their father's abusive or they're like an alcoholic or stuff. And I guess they get into that a little bit.
Right.
But I don't know, it never really hits as hard as I wanted to. So basically this movie's Groundhog Day.
Okay.
This girl hangs out with her friends and they're all really mean to everyone. They're all the popular like bully girls at school. And then they make fun of all these people. Then they go to this party and they just like abuse this girl that they don't like. And then they get in a car crash and she dies. And she wakes up and the day starts over. And so she's trying to figure out why the day keeps starting over.
I wonder why.
And my big problem with this movie is that there's no internal logic. Because some days she doesn't die, and she goes to sleep, and like wakes up, and you're like, oh, okay. It just resets when she goes to sleep.
Yeah.
But there's one day, actually the first time she doesn't die, where she goes to sleep, wakes up at like 5 a.m., and then goes back to sleep, and then wakes up.
What time does she wake up?
I don't know.
Time?
It's like 8.
Okay, because
something.
I mean, only to go off of the internal logic of other films, in Groundhog Day, it is a 24-hour cycle of up until he wakes up.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But she resets at 12:39 a.m. She dies then and wakes up at 8:40.
Okay.
So it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
That she would go to sleep and wake up and then go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Not that important. But the like she wakes up and she's like, I don't know, she goes through like the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah,
basically.
Okay.
But there's just some days where she's just an asshole to everyone and thinks that's gonna fix it somehow. And it doesn't. She's just a dick to everyone. And there's some really terrible characters in this movie. Yeah. Like the one lesbian girl who's a fucking triggered Tumblr user.
You had a really fun live reaction to this film.
Yeah, right. Instead of live tweeting, I live DM Shane how I feel about these movies. But I'm serious. The one girl who doesn't look like fucking Anna Kendrick in this fucking movie, right? She just looks slightly different. She's got like short hair and she wears boots.
Nice.
Right. It looks like a normal girl.
Yes.
She's a lesbian and no one likes her and she gets bullied, but also she kind of deserves it because she's all triggered all the time. Right. I'm in heteronormative hell, is what she says.
Fuck.
It's so bad. Like, this is the thing that really bothered me when I first started watching the movie. It's trying to set up these characters as being bad people, because she's supposed to change as the movie goes on. But the directing is also just from the perspective of a bad person, okay? The first black guy in this movie, there's a shot. Yeah. They're at a party, right? One black guy in this shot, right? All white people.
Yeah.
Which, actually, this movie is pretty diverse for the most part. But
interesting.
At the like in her friend group, there's an Asian friend.
Okay.
I think I don't know if she's like supposed to be Indian or Hispanic. Some other more darker skinned friend, I guess would be the best way to put it. But there's one black guy in this shot of all white people at a party, right? And he just does this half-hearted dab, and I'm like, come on, dude. Even that guy didn't want to do that dab. Why are you like this?
It's also on Valentine's Day, apparently.
Yes, the whole thing takes place on Cupid Day, as they call it in the movie. Cupid Day.
First of all,
they call it Cupid Day. I don't know if they say Valentine's Day once. They just keep fucking saying Cupid Day.
Why didn't they call this movie Valentine's Day then? Is my thing. If you're like just trying to rip off Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Second, is this based? I feel like this is based off like a YA novel.
It is a book.
Okay.
It is a book.
And then let me go through your fun. People are handing out roses in class. I haven't had a heteronormative tell. Every girl, just an SJW, stereotypical jock. You're not sure if this is post-ironic, like
right. I'm not sure if it's supposed. Like, I'm not sure if the directing is supposed to get across how much of an asshole they are. If it is, I guess that's an interesting directing style, but it just makes you come across as a dick.
Sure.
And not
yeah.
The character.
Yeah.
But basically, she's got this she's the stereotypical fucking white girl, bully, cool girl at the school, and she's dating the stereotypical jock, and they're gonna bang on Valentine's Day, blah, blah, blah.
Hot.
But then she realizes she loves this other guy that's her childhood friend, for no reason. She just is like, okay, I'm in love with this guy now, like, 70% of the way through the movie. And then there's this other girl that they bully a lot. and she's like, oh, we shouldn't bully her, but she keeps killing herself. And then the best part of the movie, the most interesting part, because she goes and kills herself right after the party, where everyone like abuses her. She runs through the woods and gets hit by a car. But the most interesting part of the movie is that one of the times she follows the girl and tries to stop her, and she jumps in front of the car, and it's the car that she's supposed to die in. And I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That it all connects like that. Doesn't really mean anything. I just thought it was cool. That's it. The ending of this movie is the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm going to spoil it because I don't want anyone to see this movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's trying to figure out what her purpose is, and her purpose is to save everyone. That's what she's doing.
So
she
Donnie
kisses.
Darko?
So she kisses the guy that she likes, and then leaves. And then leaves him after saying "I love you." Leaves, and no. There's a great scene because he follows her. He's like, "We need to talk about this," and she's like, "Just trust that I'm cool, and I'm gonna head out." And he's like, "No, this is an important thing that needs to happen." And so she follows the girl into the woods, and she's like, "You don't have to do this. You can have another chance." And she's like, "It's too late for me." It's a whole thing. So she tries to jump in front of a truck, and then the main character pushes her out of the way, and she gets hit by the truck instead. No damage on her body, by the way.
So she survives getting hit.
No, she dies.
Okay.
Her body's just untouched.
Oh, okay.
Right, and then the girl's like, and then she's giving her whole monologue about how she saved everyone because she gets to move on now apparently because that girl didn't die in front of that car. And so she's obviously never going to try and kill herself again. And,
after witnessing someone be killed, yeah.
And the worst line I've seen in years is in this. Right, set the scene. She got hit by the truck. The girl's standing on the side of the road, running over the body. She's shouting, right? And then the main character's ghost is watching this whole scene basically. And the suicidal girl is crying, right? And she's shaking her body, and she's like, Sam, wake up. And then she says, you saved me. And the main character says, no, you saved me. And the movie ends. I've never been more mad at something.
Why?
She fucking didn't save you. In fact, she killed you.
Yeah.
So this movie was atrocious. This was bad. This is where it started to go downhill.
Why does she end dying? Because then she kisses the guy. Then that makes the guy's life worse.
I know.
No.
Here's the thing I wanted this movie to end on. I wanted her to die.
Yeah.
And just be really fucking mad that she was forced to kill herself, basically, to fix this timeline.
Yeah.
That would have been more interesting.
Wait,
but
also,
she was super into it.
Okay. This is like the worst 13 Reasons Why, because this is essentially saying, yo, if you're a bully, fucking kill yourself.
No. It is. And there's a movie later that's also about suicide that's way, way better than this. But it's completely different.
Okay, but seriously, let me go through your live tweets.
It's atrocious. It's really, really bad. And it's not entertaining to watch.
Oh, it had some terrible songs.
Yeah, there's that fucking one song. I don't know what it's called, and I couldn't find it. But it's just, one of the lines is just a guy names every fucking day of the week. Like, in a row.
Okay.
He just goes like, it was Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And that's the line. I fucking hate it.
What?
I hate that song, and it was in the movie. It was no Scott Pilgrim.
Does not sound like any Scott Pilgrim.
I need to watch Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I have it on Blu-ray. I'm gonna go watch Scott Pilgrim. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you have anything else to say, or can I
it's just
because I'm kind of pissed off at this movie.
I'm kind of pissed off too. Like, what the fuck? Like,
it's really bad, and I'd rather just not talk about it.
Yeah, I'm just baffled that that's the ending.
Yeah, it's really
that
bad.
She keeps dying, so then the thing she has to do is still just die.
It's like a weird glorification of suicide too.
Yeah, because it's like, don't kill yourself unless you're stopping someone else from killing themselves, and then you kill yourself. What? I mean, I guess the only thing I can think of is like, if you were in that situation and the actual only escape was death, I can't necessarily blame you, because I wouldn't want to just live immortally the same day over and over again.
Why not? Sounds fun.
for a while. I'd enjoy it for about
a
like
while.
10, 20 years maybe. But then after like murdering everyone I could for like the 100th time, it would probably...
Right.
I think it would just... Everything would get boring after a while.
Yeah.
And then that's when you would have to figure out how to kill yourself correctly so you don't come back.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on from this.
Moving right
shit
along.
show
Bumpa-dum.
and move
Okay,
on to
so...
the next movie. Don't say it. Don't.
30 and 10 minutes.
Okay.
10 seconds.
So the next movie we're talking about is Risk, which is a documentary.
Yes.
By the same person who made Citizen 4, the Snowden documentary, which I really enjoyed when I watched it.
Yes.
And this movie is about Julian Assange. And it's actually been in production for like 6 years. She started filming in 2010. And finished filming... I don't know when. She originally showed it in 2016, but it wasn't actually released until 2017, and I believe she added more to the movie in that time. But, I mean, there's really not a lot to talk about with this one, and I don't know, there's not really anything to spoil, I guess, because it's all information that's already out there.
Yeah.
But it's a really interesting look at Julian Assange as a person, and I think it does a really good job of setting it up so you can see how what he does that, like, you see what he does from a different perspective.
Okay.
Because Julian Assange is pretty widely hated.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
And this movie does a really good job of trying to show you why he does what he does. While at the same time not forgiving him for being a piece of shit.
Okay.
That's a good balance.
And I thought it was really enjoyable. I like watching it, but I like documentaries, and I like this documentary. So if you've seen Citizen 4 and liked it, you probably like this. I like Citizen 4 a lot more. Okay. This is going to turn into a Citizen 4 thing, but I like that a lot more because it almost feels like a movie and not a documentary.
Yeah,
because she's so involved in what's happening.
Yes.
That it becomes a much more interesting movie.
That's
Having them talk about how they're trying to get around everything is interesting. Yes. Whereas with this movie, it's a lot more laid back for the most part. Just probably a change in how she films documentaries, and also a different situation. She wasn't contacted to deal with this. She asked to film it. But still pretty entertaining. Still really interesting to watch. I don't know, hearing all these people talk. There's a lot of interesting relationships and stuff that are in the movie. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'd recommend seeing it for sure. It's definitely one of the better movies I saw. But that's all I have to say about it. It's a pretty short talk. Just watch it if you're interested. Or don't watch it if you're not interested.
32.50.
No, we're doing it at 33. And now we're moving on to the fucking most art house fucking mess film I've ever seen in my life. Which is Lemon.
Yes. Demon. Yes.
So, this movie has Michael Cera in it, so I figured I'd like it. And boy, was I wrong. I liked Michael Cera. He was good.
Okay.
He was awesome. Michael Cera plays this fucking actor who's just so up his own ass. Yeah. That, like, most of the movie that he's in is him getting, like, constant praise from the main guy. And he's like, talk about your where you're coming from. Talk about your, like, system and stuff or whatever. And every day he's got some new bullshit. He's like, I've been incorporating a lot of animals into my scenes. Not just one animal. Different animals for every scene. And I can go from a rooster to a panther in seconds. It's magical, right? Like that shit. That's all he does the entire movie, and so he's really entertaining as like that character. But this movie there's a guy in it, the main character. That's it. There's no fucking plot. It just like it starts out as this movie about him teaching an acting class, and he's got a blind girlfriend who obviously doesn't like him very much, and she's always away on business trips. And he doesn't have much going on. He used to be an actor, but now he's, like, old and shitty. And so he's just teaching these, like, acting classes, and he really likes the Michael Cera guy and keeps shitting on the other actor that's with him. And that part's really kind of entertaining, just because Michael Cera's in it. Yeah. And he makes it funny. Yeah. And then Michael Cera promptly leaves the film about 25 minutes in. They never return to those acting classes.
Okay.
And after that, his girlfriend breaks up with him. So he goes to dinner with his Jewish family. And there's a bunch of Jewish people at a table, and they all hate each other.
Okay.
And then they sing a song about matzo balls for 2 minutes straight. I'm not kidding. It's a room of 15 people sitting there while one guy plays piano, not very well, and they just sing a song where they say matzo balls like 60 times. It won't end. Right? And after this, right,
yes.
he was in a commercial at one point in the movie. It's this makeup artist he likes. And so he goes out on a date with her. And she doesn't like him. But for some reason, all of her dialogue is that she does. Even though her character very obviously doesn't.
Right.
It's so weird. And she's black. And she is a kid. And he's very awkward about her being black. Because that's funny.
Whoa! Wow, racism!
And then some other stuff happens. I don't remember. He goes to her. She has a family barbecue, and everyone there's Jamaican,
right,
and has a Jamaican accent. Right.
I'm sure wackiness ensues.
And then he talks to them about being mugged by Latino people, and that there's too many black people in prison to try and fit his way into this community because that's all black people care about.
Yep, obviously.
And then I don't know if he gets high or if he is just crazy. It's not really clear what's going on. The grandmother starts talking to him in reverse. I don't even think it's in English. And she's saying they need to run away. And she's in a wheelchair, so he takes the wheelchair and starts jogging down the middle of the street. And there's like a 45-second uninterrupted shot of him just slowly running down a street with a grandma in a wheelchair. And then the woman he's dating comes after him and goes, "Why are you running?" And he's just like, "I don't know." And then she just takes the grandma back. So he gets in his car, and the car doesn't work, so he walks home, and he poops everywhere.
Yeah.
And he drops his phone in it, and then the water doesn't work, so he's covered in poop.
Wow.
And then the movie ends.
That's the end.
That his girlfriend comes back, and he's like, "I need you," and she's like, "I'm returning my key because I'm leaving," because she's not interested in him at all.
And Vogue calls it an intoxicatingly original piece of art.
It's weird. Okay, there's an Ebert review of this.
Oh, hell yeah.
I like to check because I kind of like reading a single person review. It's easy to access when you're looking at the movie. It's always one of the three.
It's a good read too.
Right, and it's interesting, and I just like to see how my opinion compares. Very similar opinions on this movie.
Oh, really?
The review is basically... There's a... Quirky gets attached to indie movies a lot, and this movie deserves it, but it's predictable and shitty, and it's not enjoyable to watch. And it just focuses on how can we be weird instead of being good at all.
Yeah.
And the acting part was good, and the rest of it was garbage. This movie was a pain to watch. I summarized it. It's an hour and 40 minutes.
Christ.
Of what I've said to you.
Wow.
And there's a lot of scenes that, like, Family Guy style, they just keep going on.
Yeah.
It's literally like the fucking Peter Griffin hurt his knee joke. But it's a fucking Jewish doctor talking about how his wife left him.
Yeah.
But for like 2 minutes.
Okay, interesting.
It's like, and what I described to you in my live DMs is basically, this is the greatest piece of art that's ever been created. And I hate that I have to watch it. Like, as a piece of art, it should be in a museum.
Yeah.
As a movie, it might be the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
There you go.
I think you called it, like, the anti-Jim Jarmusch film.
It is like the opposite of a Jim Jarmusch film, in that everyone talks too much, and I hate them.
I hate them.
It's so bad.
Alright.
It's an hour and a half train wreck. Yeah, I've seen the trailer for this, and I mean, the trailer, I think, made it look like more of an actual film than the film is.
It's not a film.
Because I got it The way I looked at it, it just looked like sad middle-aged white guy who's awkward, and it's like, oh, I'm sad and middle-aged, and I'm white and I'm awkward.
That. This guy's fucking. It's unbelievable. Like he's not a human being.
Okay.
Everything he does is specifically designed to make you cringe. Every situation he puts himself in, he purposely does the most annoying thing possible.
Right.
And everyone in this movie is like that. His whole fucking family is like that. It's so annoying, and it's just bad to watch. It's bad. Don't watch it.
I kind of almost want to watch this.
It's not fun. It's not funny.
But I want to watch it with you.
I don't want to watch it again. I'm not watching it again.
Okay.
No way.
Okay. It'd be really boring to watch it with, too.
It's
boring to do anything with.
It's so fucking boring. It's just not good. So let's move on to my next film.
Also, the lead character is in Stranger Things Season 2.
Ian Lemon?
Yeah. But this is probably still better than Stranger Things Season 2. The journalist, like the conspiracy theorist guy.
He looks like...
That super necessary plot between if Discount Angela is going to get his dick wet.
The best way I can describe him is that he looks and sounds like a mix between H. John Benjamin and the guy who plays Arnold in Master of None.
I'm down. See, that sounds good.
That's what he looks and sounds like. Not what he acts like. I wish that was what he acted like, because that would be awesome. Can we just talk about Master of None instead?
Dude, it's so
way
fucking
better
good.
Than fucking
Season 2.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's move on to my next movie.
4130.
Stop. The Little Hours. This movie has a lot of famous people in it. Or a lot more than the other ones. It's got Aubrey Plaza and Alison Brie. Those are the important ones.
Aubrey Plaza?
Yeah. And this is a movie about a group of nuns in the 1400s who all just hang out and do nun stuff, and then this guy shows up and they're all thirsty as fuck. That's the movie.
Yeah, that's right. I saw the trailer and I was like, I kind of want to see that.
I want to see that. It just... Weirdly enough, it was only playing at, like, the Embarcadero.
Yeah.
Which is, like, that's a weird place for that movie
to
come.
What I would say about this is definitely one of my favorite, my more liked movies of the movies I've seen, because it was enjoyable as opposed to not being enjoyable. It's pretty silly. I think the thing that makes it good at first is that it's a bunch of nuns who swear a lot and want dick. And so that's funny. And when that wears off, they move on from it.
Okay.
Which is cool. Like, they still keep doing that stuff. But the focus isn't just, oh, that nun said fuck again. It's like, the movie progresses, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't really want to say too much about it. Other than everyone who's in it, who's you recognize is really funny. Nick Offerman's pretty funny. Well, he kind of plays off other people, but he's pretty funny in this movie. Fred Armisen is fucking amazing. He might be the best part of the movie.
I love that guy.
He plays a fucking bishop in this movie.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's amazing. It looks his best. He has a scene where he's doling out punishments to them that is literally out of Portlandia.
Nice.
Like, I'm not even. It could just be a Portlandia sketch. And yeah, I mean, it's really enjoyable. I will, fair warning, there is a lot more nudity in this movie than you would think. Even watching the movie, there's a lot more nudity coming than you think. Like, they start doing, like, there's, like, softcore porn, basically. Like, because they're all trying to smash. There's also lesbian nuns, which I did not see coming. That's a little bit of a spoiler.
That's
not
fine.
much, though.
It won't happen when I expect it to, or it will happen when I don't expect it to.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a lot of, like, people, they're wearing their clothes still, but they're, like, about to bang, right? And so you think, oh, that's about as far as it's gonna go. You see, like, a lot of Alison Brie's ass. Like, 90% of it. Right. There's a part in this movie, and I don't want to give away too much. There's a part with, like, 30 full naked women. And, like, you think they're just gonna be dancing, and you're gonna see, like, small amounts of boob, but they're kind of far away. It becomes full frontal almost instantly. For like 45 seconds. Just a bunch of women running around naked.
I'm down.
It's so strange. So, I mean, I'd recommend it if you're not a prude. But yeah, it's weird.
Mm-hmm. You have a quote from it.
Oh my god, this movie plays off the fact that it's set in the 1400s very well in like 2 jokes in the movie.
Horsing all the food like a fucking Jew.
Yeah. They're yelling at this peasant, and Alison Brie. They're like ramping up, and this guy's like farming for them, and she just yells, "Hoarding all the food like a fucking Jew" at him.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's
a Jew father Marco.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. It's an enjoyable movie. It's got a sweet ending, which you wouldn't expect.
Okay.
And I'd recommend it if you want to watch a movie about a bunch of nuns banging.
Okay.
And a bunch of crazy antics happening down at the old convent. You know what I'm saying? A lot of wacky happenings.
A lot of wacky happenings. Yeah, no, this is one I really wanted to see, but it had like no release over here except like in. Yeah, so.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Is it on Amazon or something? Or did you have to pirate it?
I obtained all these movies legally.
Oh, obviously.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think it is on Amazon.
Okay.
I think most of these are on Amazon.
Okay.
So I guess that was a little short, but we'll move on to the last movie.
48-22?
Here's the problem. I have the most to say about this movie.
Yes.
But I don't want to say any of it because I actually liked it.
Okay.
And I think it's better not having much to say about it. So I'll talk about it a little bit, but I'm not going to talk about it that much.
Okay.
And the next movie that we're going to talk about is The Discovery.
Oh, wait. Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the movie. No, I want. So it's good, right?
Yes, it is good.
Because a lot of people shat on it as soon as it came out, but it's good?
I like it.
Okay. I want to check this out then.
It has a couple...
Why did you care about other people's opinions?
It has a couple of internal logic problems. But I still think it's enjoyable ignoring those.
Okay.
So, for people who don't know, The Discovery is a movie about a scientist who discovers proof of the afterlife, and this causes a lot of people to kill themselves. Mm-hmm. And this movie takes place 2 years after that discovery. The main character is his son, who doesn't like his dad very much, but goes back to his dad's lab because he's going to unveil a new invention, basically. So weirdly, one of the biggest problems I have with this movie is the numbers they've chosen for suicide is about 2 million a year. Because it's at 4 million when the plot's taking place, which is 2 years after the discovery. That's not a lot.
Yeah, that doesn't
seem... 1 million people kill themselves every year now. So I feel like that number's way too low. Yeah. Especially, it makes sense that everyone in this movie has someone they're connected to who's killed themselves or has tried to kill themselves. That's kind of part of it.
But the numbers should have been much bigger.
The numbers should have been a lot bigger.
Yeah.
I feel
more effective.
Should be like 1 billion.
And weirdly, this movie, where suicide is normalized, does a lot better job of being like, don't kill yourself than Before I Fall did.
Yeah.
But I thought this movie was a cool kind of science fiction premise. The movie's just about, we know that you go somewhere after you die, but no one knows where that is.
Okay.
And they're talking about what that means and stuff. Okay. And they're talking about, like, is it worth it? You know, if you don't know what comes next. Even if you know there's something next, if you don't know what it is. Yeah. Is it still worth it? Yeah. And, like, if you know what comes after, would you still kill yourself? Stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know, I mean...
I thought it was really interesting. The thing about this movie that made it work is that I realized something about, like, 10 minutes in about myself that a character realizes also in the movie, and that made it weirdly relatable. And this is gonna get, like, super weirdly personal. But I was just thinking about this situation in my head, and I was thinking about how recently I kind of came to the realization that, like, I wouldn't want to go to an afterlife Like, I wouldn't kill myself because I don't want to end up in the afterlife, basically.
Sure.
And there's character who goes through that transformation in this movie, which made it weirdly relatable, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a personal thing, but but I think it's interesting. There's one of the big problems. There's a romance, and I can see why a lot of people have a problem with it because they don't feel very in touch with each other, and I can see how people would think it feels forced. For some reason, it just worked for me.
Okay.
But that's just a me thing. I think it probably is problematic if you weren't me.
I'd be down to check it out.
But it's a very good movie.
Okay.
And I don't want to say that much more about it because I think it's better going in not knowing that much about the movie.
Yeah.
And having it happen.
I get that. So,
I would recommend it. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Easy to watch. So I'd recommend it. Jason Segel's in it.
Yeah.
Have you seen Life End of the Tour? Where he plays David Foster Wallace? That's a good Jason Segel performance. I mean, he's like a good actor.
I like him in How I Met Your Mother.
I like him in The Muppets.
I like him in that one movie where he's on the pancakes on the poster. He's resting his head on the pancake. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but isn't that the guy from Dark Knight? Isn't that
the guy from
Two-Face? Is that Jason Segel?
I think it's Jason Segel.
Jim in Real Life, right? Is that the movie?
It might be. I don't even
Jeff
know.
Who Lives at Home.
Jeff Who Lives at Home.
There you go. That is Jason Segel.
That's Jason Segel, but that's not the pancakes.
Oh, is it not?
No.
I thought those were the same movie.
Jeff Who Lives at Home is Jason Segel, but I think Jim in Real Life is the pancakes one.
Okay. It doesn't matter.
I'm looking
never
up
seen
anyway.
either of them.
In
So yeah,
Jim from The Office.
The Discovery's a pretty interesting movie, and there's a lot of...
Maybe it's not Jim in real life. Jeff in real life?
It's a really...
No.
I think it's cool, the premise that it's set up, and it's just accepted that the world is the way it is. They don't really talk that much about how it got there or anything. You just kind of understand this is where the world's at.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting because all the main characters have very different opinions on what to do about it. Like, and watching their conflicts and how they start to change their ideas as the movie progresses is really interesting.
Okay. Well, I saw the trailer for this and I thought it looked super, super cool. And then I just kind of never got around to watching it. And I mean, yeah, I heard a lot of people shitting on it, but it was more so just me not really like looking into it. But after you saying it, there is an error. After you saying it looks good, I might check it out. I might try to watch it soon because it looked really cool, and that's interesting. I didn't put two and two together every time you said it when I heard when I was looking through the list, but actually, also I guess just the fun thing is it Meet Bill?
No.
What's the because is it him with the pancakes?
No, I really don't think it probably isn't. Another word of warning: if you get bored easily, I guess don't watch this movie.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of talking.
Oh okay.
It's a very dialogue heavy movie because most of it is just people talking about things.
Okay.
Not in like a super like high level way, just like having conversations. Man laying head on pancakes poster. No, that's a bunch of fucking Adventure Time stuff. It's Dan in real life.
Dan in real life. It's
fucking Steve Carell.
Oh, okay, so we were both wrong.
Steve Carell wasn't in Dark Knight? That wasn't Two-Face? That looks so fucking gross. You remember the fucking...
What do I remember?
You remember Date Night?
Yes, I do. It's directed by Sean Levy. the director of Night the Museum and a lot of episodes of Stranger Things. And
Date Night.
His best film, Real Steel.
I watch a date night on a plane.
Date Night on a plane, yeah.
All I remember is the kill shot thing.
Kill shot! It's kill shot!
I'm pretty sure that was the only funny part
Is
of
it,
that movie.
Franco was a drug addict or something.
No, in the movie.
Haha! Zingers! Zanger! What's the name of that movie where Steve Carell is the new Noah?
Evan Almighty. The sequel to Bruce Almighty.
Yeah.
I was about to get...
Yeah.
Which is a Jim Carrey movie, which is
Dude,
pretty good.
The best part of that movie is when he starts growing the beard. Everyone's like, how'd you grow a beard so fast? And he says, adult puberty. That's a funny joke.
What a joke.
That's a funny movie.
The best part of that
there.
movie is that that's a kid's movie, and it's a sequel to, like, a really, like, almost R-rated comedy.
Yeah.
It's just about fucking Jim Carrey using his god powers to try to bang Rachel from Friends.
Okay, but who wouldn't, though? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dude, Brad Pitt fucked up. He just stayed with Rachel from Friends.
I mean, like, that's one of my favorite episodes of Friends is where he comes on for a Thanksgiving episode and just shits on her, and it's funny, like, after the divorce. Okay. Yes? Matt just walked directly in front of me. Oh, and now is sitting down between us.
I don't really know
Hey
why,
there,
because we're pretty much
Hi.
done.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're not quite done, because now it's time for a little special. So, both
No,
me and
fuck
Kyle
that. And
Yeah, let's save it
Talked
for the
about-
next episode.
are,
Dude, that's my favorite fucking Snoop Dogg song.
Yeah, we'll save my gushing for the
there's
next
there's
episode.
no next
Yeah,
episode.
there's no next episode.
This is the end.
There's
I'm
no-
not talking. I'm
There
like, next
is
time.
no movie.
Oh.
There's no
Next
more
time we
as they
record.
say.
I'm really
Next time we
exhausted
record?
right now,
Okay.
honestly.
Fine.
Yeah.
Then let's vamp for
For next time on Real Unknown.
3.5 minutes.
Next time.
Next time Real Unknown is going to be the fucking Nice Guys episode that we recorded where I just don't know shit and can't
Yeah.
talk about
Oh
anything.
my god, that episode's terrible.
Yeah. Next time we'll talk about how good Trainspotting 2 is.
That's gonna be in like 2 months.
Yeah.
That's fine.
We'll
do
hopefully we'll have enough
So
material.
basically what I'd say is I watch movies for about 12 hours, and weirdly those movies followed my mental state. I started out neutral, right?
Yeah.
It went downhill quickly.
Uh-huh.
I became, like, interested but kind of ambivalent. Then I hit the real, like, rock bottom.
Yeah.
Right? And then it started to pick up again, and then it ended on a good note.
And I like that
No.
the entire time that you were watching the Discovery, I was watching Scooby-Doo.
I know, and you kept fucking sending me Scooby-Doo. I had to pause the movie every, like, 10 seconds to watch a 15-second clip of fucking Scooby-Doo that I can't see because you're just pointing a phone at a TV in a well-lit room. Oh, you're the worst. It made me want to watch Scooby-Doo.
It's really good.
It
It's
is good.
really
It's
good.
fun. Those are good movies.
I can't. Oh
Top 10
man,
underrated movies of all time.
both James Gunn Scooby-Doo movie. There's a really good like setup and payoff joke in that, where they have the phone joke where he's like, for Mr. Doo, and it's like Albert Doo, and it's just no Scooby-Doo, and then like much later, then Scrappy's like, I need you, Scooby-Doo, and it's don't you mean Albert Doo? Oh god, James Gunn's the fucking best.
My favorite moment of those movies is the one where Fred says, I think Coolsville sucks. It's so funny to me.
Yeah.
You're just gonna get me on camera going, I think Coolsville sucks. I also like when they make really sexy Velma, and you're like, what is going on? This is like a PG movie.
I like also the dude in the Led Zeppelin shirt in Scooby-Doo, that whole relationship where it's like kind of a Velma relationship is essentially just like the rough draft of like her wanting to fuck Seth Green in the second
Who
one.
wouldn't?
I mean, who would?
He was fucking sexy
He's
in that
so
movie.
sexy.
He looked really good.
I mean, he's sexy.
Can we talk about
Yes.
Fred saying, nerdy chicks like you turn me on too?
Yeah.
In a fucking kids movie? Like, it's so obvious that those movies weren't written for kids.
Yeah. Oh god, it's great.
Classics.
The sets are really good in that though, especially in the first one. Like CGI aside, like the sets of like that's like a place I would want to go. I'd want to go like spend spring break at fucking Spooky Island. Like that would be really fucking fun.
Fucking spooky.
I can look at myself naked.
Oh god, it's so good.
I like the
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just great movies all around.
so good. Oh, there's a fun LSD joke When Fred's in like just the floating head in like the pool, he's like, "Someone slipped something in my drink, man. Talk me down. Talk me down."
I bet they had a lot of fun filming this movie.
I know. I would to be on that set, just be a fly on that
hang
wall.
out with Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Hell yeah. You know, the girl who plays Velma plays CJ on regular show.
I feel like I did know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
She's also in
what
Bloodline.
What did they do for Scooby in those movies? Did they have someone?
I think it's like a guy in like a green suit, and I think it's the guy. I don't know if the voice actor, but I think it's the guy is stunt double. But he's like in nothing. Like, and that's the thing. Everyone else outside of like Freddie Prinze Jr. actually like is pretty successful. Like Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I never hear about anyone except for her.
What, Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar is around. I mean, she's Sarah Michelle Gellar. But no, the girl who plays Velma is just kind of a character actress. Like I said, she's on Bloodline. She's done some other voice acting work. I think she's played Velma and some other stuff.
Probably.
And the guy who plays Shaggy just is Shaggy in most like Scooby-Doo stuff.
That fucking casting is incredible.
It's so good.
It's spot on.
It's like the amount of just the costume design and the makeup and how accurate it is.
It looks. It's probably the best animated to live action transition that's been done.
Totally.
Because it looks like you'd expect.
Yeah.
It looks like the fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's so good.
I love
that Scrappy Doo's the villain.
Oh my god, fucking Scrappy Doo, dude! What a fucking shitty like back ass character too. They didn't bring in fucking what's the other one? The gray one that talks really.
Dopey Doo or something.
His fucking name is something.
Stupid Doo.
It's something like Stupid Doo. I'm not kidding. And he's just dumb.
Yeah.
That's my favorite character in Scooby Doo.
I think it's like Dummy Doo, maybe.
It's something like that.
Let's look that up.
It's like
Gray
cousin Doo.
Cousin Doo. Gray Scooby Doo.
I like that Scrappy's the villain in this movie because he's so scrappy.
Yeah.
It's just like Scrappy Doo.
A Scooby Dum.
Scooby Dum.
Oh my god.
And they just call him Scooby Dum, and they trust him to do things even though his name is Scooby Dum.
That's too good.
But like, yeah, I mean, Scrappy in the cartoon is like he's super like over the top, like brave or whatever, but like he can't get anything done because he's like tiny. And I really like how they played that out in this movie.
Oh, Matt's leaving again.
Anyway, fucking Scooby-Doo 1 and 2. Watch them
So
if you
good.
haven't. They're enjoyable.
They're both on Netflix.
Yeah,
if everything else could leave Netflix, and if Scooby-Doo
then.
1 and 2 were still
Tracers.
on there. Okay, and Tracers. Scooby-Doo 1 and 2 and Tracers.
TBH, if they added Scott Pilgrim to Netflix, it would be fucking perfect.
That would be pretty
the
good.
Greatest platform available.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Scott Pilgrim isn't available anywhere. It sucks.
I have it on Blu-ray.
I have it on DVD.
You have to get it physically.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Even if it was on Netflix, you should still own it physically.
Hell yeah.
I know. I want to. I'm probably gonna buy a copy of it.
Yeah, it's good.
Anyways, this was
That's top one movie.
Scott Pilgrim or
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo? Tracers.
Fuck, I had something else to say that
Yeah.
involved Cloud Atlas.
To have to do with this?
No, that had to do with the movies I watched.
Which one?
I don't remember. That's the thing. But it had something
What
to
aspect
do
of Cloud
with...
Atlas?
That's what it was. It
Yes.
was about Personal Shopper.
Okay.
And about a movie that's more than one movie thing.
Okay.
Because I feel like it seems like I'm kind of contradictory on this. Because why would I like one movie that's like that and not others?
Yeah.
But I love a movie like Cloud Atlas.
Sure.
Where they're all kind of connected, but not really.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of the movie I wanted Valerian to be, basically. Yeah. And I love a movie like The Last Jedi, where it all does come together at the end, but you're watching all these stories happen.
Uh-huh.
Which, I mean, that's a Star Wars thing anyway.
Yeah.
But when a movie's like Personal Shopper, or like... There was another movie I watched that was like that too. That was just a mess. Where it's just one character, but it feels like they were trying to... It feels like they were trying to make 3 separate movies with one character, as opposed to trying to make 3 movies that came together with 3 different characters. I think that's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Is different characters all coming together at the end, as opposed to one character in several genres. genres.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Sure, no, that makes
sense. So
sense.
that's the difference between, like, movies that I like that are kind of several different stories as opposed to movies I dislike.
No, that are several different stories.
She got nice titties, though.
Well, I'm glad that's your takeaway. And coming from you, that is a pretty high praise.
It is.
You're pretty picky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One picky boy.
One picky little boy.
What is a USPS?
Yeah?
Uzpuz.
Uzpuz?
Yeah, the Uzpuz.
The
as we
Uzpuz.
call it.
Yeah.
That back in the streets, back in the day. Why are we still recording this?
We had to get to 105.
Kind of in the background going like...
Right, no, fuck that. Alright, Matt, sing us out.
Sweet dreams are made of this.
What is this, the party yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, can we talk? No, let's not. Fuck, the shitty... Never. It's been real.